Right, folks, continuing with theme E, we're going to look at prisons and corporal punishment. I think this might be quite a quick one, but types of punishment that are used to fulfill aims of punishment, okay, and religious views on that. So we'll get straight into it as always. Question number one, Christian views on prisons. Christian views on prisons. Write down what you think Christians' views are on prisons. Okay. Sincerely hope you're keeping well. Moment by moment. Remember, moment by moment. Question number two in just a sec. Okay. Question number two, Islamic views on prisons. What do Muslims think about and see prisons as a punishment? What are their views on this? Okay. Remember, theme E, you must refer to religion. It'd be so easy to answer all these questions without religion. Christians believe, Muslims think, whatever it is. Muslims assert, Christians strongly feel, whatever it is. The Bible teaches, the Quran says, whatever. Okay, question number two, three even. Give me 3 advantages of prison. 3 advantages of prison. Okay. 3 advantages of prison. Quick bullet points. 3 advantages of prison. Brilliant. And then 3 disadvantages of prison. 3 disadvantages of prison. Think of statistics, mental health, staffing, all that kind of thing. 3 disadvantages of prison. Excuse me, I seem to always yawn on these videos. 3 disadvantages. I apologise. How rude. My mother would say, keep the washing machine closed, David. 3 disadvantages of prison. Okay, moving on. What is corporal punishment? Define what corporal punishment is, please. Okay. Define what corporal punishment is. It's to do with something physical. Define what corporal punishment is. Okay. Moving on in just a sec. Remember, you can pause this at any time. Christian view on corporal punishment. Last 2 now. Christian view on corporal punishment. Question number 6. Christian view of corporal punishment. Okay. Sorry, we've got 2 more. An Islamic view on corporal punishment. Okay. An Islamic view on corporal punishment. Question number 7. I'm yawning again. And finally, what is the law in the UK? Because you can apply this to your question 5s once you brought religion in. What is the law in the UK on corporal punishment? Okay. So, question number 1, Christian attitudes towards prison. Okay, Christian attitudes towards prison. Now, Christians do actually support the concept of prison, because there could be opportunities for that person to be reformed. They could go to therapy, they could work, they could have opportunities that they wouldn't have necessarily had otherwise to change their mindset. Some Christians also believe it acts as a deterrent. It means, I don't want to go back here again. It's going to put me off from going back to prison. But we'll see in a minute that's not really a strong argument. Some Christians believe that prisons need to be tough, more kind of harsh, in order for prisoners to not reoffend. Okay, but many Christians think it's a way of deterring people. From a Muslim perspective, Muslims believe that those who break the law must be reformed to prevent them doing it again. And this should not be done in a prison setting where everyone's locked up. This should be done in the community through harsh punishments, for instance. Okay, that the community should witness someone being punished, and that can bring about reformation, because pain reforms Islam, Muslims believe. And so this idea of things happening in the community is something that, in terms of delivering the punishment. Okay. Some other things. Some Christians might say it's necessary to deprive offenders of their freedom to prevent them from reoffending, continue life of crime. Some religions might say support the idea of seeking to reform offenders so that they can become responsible and law-abiding members of society. Okay, so some other religious attitudes there. Something for three for you. 3 advantages of prison. So some advantages of prison. Okay, it can it protects society. You don't want a criminal just continuing offending, potentially hurting people, hurting society, hurting the environment, whatever it is, damaging the environment, I should say. So it protects people. It protects the public from dangerous people. Some people might say convicted criminals, those that have been found guilty, deserve to go to prison because the victims want justice. And prison can be a way for people to get justice. Some people might say it acts as a deterrent, making people afraid of committing crime, although that is a fairly weak argument because we'll see the disadvantages in a minute. Reformation, again, some advantages. People could change their mindsets through education, counselling, getting redoing their maths and English, for instance, or receiving therapy for the hardships they faced in life. Okay, and so those are some of the advantages. If you think about disadvantages, overcrowding. Okay, our prisons are in the UK are crowded, too many people in them. Disadvantages as well. There's a rise in young people in custody, in prison, being arrested. On average, the statistics might have slightly changed, but I think it's roughly around £30,000 a year to keep someone in prison. Keeping a prison that's some people's annual salary. Keeping a prison, just one prisoner in prison, is very expensive. It could be an area, some more disadvantages, could be an area of schools of crime. People learn and mix with the wrong kinds of people. They're influenced in the wrong way. And they learn about how to commit other crimes, or they commit crimes within prison, which it can happen quite often. Suicide rates are sadly really quite high in prison. People try to end their life because of because of the situation they find themselves in. The family obviously suffers, and a statistic, roughly, people that go to prison reoffend, out of 100 people, the statistics say that 70% of those people are going to reoffend. And some people might say there's better alternatives, such as community service, whatever. Moving on. So corporal punishment. Corporal punishment involves physically hurting the criminal as a punishment. This can include things like whipping, amputation, and anything in between, really. Branding. And these types of punishment do occur in certain countries around the world, particularly in the Middle East and other countries, Africa as well. Okay. So a Christian view of corporal punishment, a Christian view of this is that most Christians disagree with it because it doesn't reform the criminal. Okay. It's more about getting retribution and revenge, which the Bible clearly teaches against, loving our enemies, turning the other cheek. Okay. Christians believe in the dignity of all human beings, that we all have to be treated equally. And when you decide to physically hurt somebody in that way, you're taking their dignity away. And corporal punishment could lead to the death penalty, capital punishment, someone dying, and God's the only one that has according to Christians, has the right to take and give life. Okay? We should respect all those. yes. So some Christians, only a few, in relation to raising your children, might say, whoever spoils the rod hates their child. And it's as if you don't actually use corporal punishment, smacking a child or whatever. Some people might say that they won't be disciplined, and they won't know, or they won't be fully aware as to what's right and wrong, for instance, maybe. That's only a small minority of Christians. So, an Islamic view on corporal punishment. Now, Sharia law does allow corporal punishment in certain scenarios, but it must be proportionate and necessary. You're not just going to go and hurt people. It must be carried out in public for certain crimes, like stealing. Okay? It allows for beating, lashings, and amputation. And it can act as a deterrent, not just for the person that's being punished, physically, but also for the community that are watching it, because the punishment has to be done in the community. Okay. So yes, that's the Islamic view, and then finally, are we finally there? If you made it this far, God bless you. Thank you. So UK law. Okay, UK law, corporal punishment is banned. It was abolished in just after the Second World War for criminals. Okay, corporal punishment in state schools was banned in 1987. Okay, we weren't allowed to, teachers were not allowed to physically punish their students. Interestingly, parents are still allowed to smack their children if it is a reasonable punishment, providing implements such as a cane or a belt or a wooden spoon are not used and the blow does not cause injury or abuse or bruise. But generally, in most situations, corporal punishment in this country is illegal. Stay well, stay strong, and we've done another one. See you later.